Shit. All right. Okay. All right. I'll just get started here then. Okay. It's been a little while since I've done an episode of Record Roulette. I know some of you really like this shit, so I'm happy to be back with another episode. Those of you who are new, this is a series of episodes where Oldhead, that is me, uses the random item feature on Discogs to randomize my record collection, and whatever it pulls up, I grab off the shelf and I talk about it. No time to really plan out what I'm going to say. You just get my honest thoughts about whatever record it is that I talk about from my collection. So let's get right to it. As usual, I am recording my computer screen so you can see my Discogs collection there. Well, the beginning of the names anyway. And I'm going to hit random item, and whatever it pulls up, I'm going to talk about it. I already fucking said that, so let's just fucking do that. All right, here we go, everybody. Random item. Hungry Ghost, the second album from the Australian alternative rock grunge band Violent Soho. This album originally came out, I believe, in 2013, but my copy is from 2018. It's a repressing, but this is probably my favorite Violent Soho album. It's got a lot of fucking great energy to it. They really are a band that sort of sounds like they could have come from the 90s. And it's great songwriting, great performances, great energy. Sometimes they kind of remind me of a cross between, I don't know, Dinosaur Jr. and Superchunk or something like that. But good shit. I don't even remember if this is a colored vinyl or not. So let's discover that together. Oh, like they have the little inner sleeve with the hole cut in it. Ah, this is clear. Very nice. I don't have a whole lot of clear vinyl, and I really like it. Hello. Is there anything else in here? No, that is a bare bones release, ladies and gentlemen. But I guess that's really all you need. No credits or anything. Anyway, it's basically an indie release. It's on Side One Dummy Records, which is an American independent label. But yeah, they did two albums after this. And then they kind of went on an indefinite hiatus. And it's unfortunate because they're a really great band. Over in Australia, they're fucking huge. But a lot of you probably don't even know who the fuck they are. But here you go. Meet Violent Soho. If you're into that shit, go check it out. All right, I usually do 5 pieces from my collection, so we're only on to number 2. So let's see where it takes us from here. Random item. Discogs is really wanting some grunge today, I guess. Grunt Truck, Push, the second Grunt Truck album, I think. And this came out in 1992. This is not a 1992 pressing. This is a 2021 Record Store Day repressing. Essentially, they were the grunge band that all the other grunge bands really liked. There were a few of those like that. You could throw Tad in there or Screaming Trees. They were the ones that, when you saw interviews with the popular grunge bands, they talked about these bands. And Grunt Truck was one of those bands. I remember Alice in Chains mentioning them quite a bit. And they're very similar to all those bands. They're more on the heavier alternative side. And this is a really fucking good album. And it's not an amazing pressing. A lot of these represses, like, it's got a cool gatefold and everything. Like, that I like that. But when I listened to it, I just remember the sound was pretty good. But with a lot of these, I can't get over in my brain the fact that they're probably just pressed from a CD. Now, I don't know anything about Real Gone Music. I have a few represses from them, and they're all pretty good, but I don't know the process that goes into doing these represses. That's why a lot of times I try to avoid that. If there's even a gently worn original copy that I can get for an affordable price, I will do that over a repress any day. But this is not one of those albums. I wanted it, and it was hard to find. So let's look at the actual vinyl. All right, so they got, printed inner sleeves here. Very, very nice. Now, I like the color here. This is a clear, but this is like a clear splatter, opaque thing. And I really, really dig that. Let's look at the other one. Same sort of thing. Inner sleeve with some flyers and stuff from old Grunt Truck shows. Yeah, Grunt Truck broke up soon after this album. And then the lead vocalist several years later passed away. Same thing over here. Still a very good looking piece of vinyl, if I may say so myself. I did. This album did have some singles off of it. Tribe was a single and Crazy Love was a single. I think that may have been it. But, it didn't blow up like a lot of the other grunge albums, but I hold it up there with all of those because it's fucking good. So there you go. Grunge Rock Push. Okay, Discogs, do I need to bust out my flannel shirt and my combat boots? We'll find out. Let's see where we go next. Random item. So this is interesting. This is the first one now where on Discogs there's a picture sleeve, and this is what I have it in, a plain white. This is probably one of those things where I was buying something else, and this was like $1, and I threw it on. Hammer 2, Legit 2, Quit. And it's the 12-inch single. You guys know that I love 12-inch singles. And I have a soft spot in my heart for the first few albums of Mr. MC Hammer. And I don't have the album this comes from, which is also called Too Legit to Quit. I have Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em, but I had to get the 12-inch single of this track because it's like it's a big nostalgia thing for me. I guess I was always a weird kid when it came to everything because even with whatever kind of music I was into some cool stuff that may have been considered underground, but at the same time, I fully embraced the shit that was popular or whatever. And so, I was listening to Tribe Called Quest and shit like that, but I also really liked MC Hammer. This was 1991, so I would have been 13. So side 1 is the Legit remix. Side 2 has the Get Bucked mix, followed by Adam's Groove, which he did the theme song for. Was it the second Addams Family movie or was it the first? Don't remember, but it's just the instrumental version, which is weird, but okay. And nothing to look at here. So there you go. 1991, 12-inch single, Hammer 2, Legit 2. Okay, so at this point, we could go anywhere. We've had grunge, we've had poppy 90s, early 90s rap music. Let's find out where we go from here. Random item. Ladies and gentlemen, our first 7-inch on Record Roulette. Yes, I have some 7-inches.
Here's where Old Head stops himself from making an inappropriate joke.
And this one's pretty cool because it's a double 7-inch release. It is Bracket, F is for Fat. This is an interesting one because this came out 1996, looking like a gatefold. It's got a gatefold inside of it. This came out in 1996, and what this was, before Bracket were signed to Fat Records, they were on Caroline Records. And Caroline had set them up in this recording studio on their own to record a follow-up album because they had done 2 for Caroline Records. And they were in the studio, totally left alone, did an entire album's worth of stuff, and then Caroline dropped them and didn't want to put it out, something like that. And so F is for Fat is 4 of the songs from that particular recording session. 5 songs. But anyway, and years later, they would end up releasing the actual album, which is called Like You Know. I think that came out 2 years ago. They put it all together and put it out, and it's pretty damn good. But this is just a few of the songs from the recording session, which was all you could get in 1996, if I remember right. So there you go. Just black there. Pretty nice. Just paper inner sleeves as well. And that one looks exactly the same. But back in the day, I was a big Bracket fan. When I was into all the sort of skate punk stuff, they were a band that really stood out to me because there was a little bit of that in their music, but also it was almost like a skate punk band mixed with the Beach Boys or the Beatles or something, because there was a lot of melody, a lot of harmony vocals, and just fucking great songwriting. They're still around today, still doing really great shit, but this is a nice little gem here. F is for Fat from Bracket. All right, folks, we're at number 5, the final piece of my collection that I will talk about on this episode of Record Roulette. I promise I will be back sooner with another one of these episodes. So let's see what we get. Random item. Okay, well, one thing is for sure, all my metalhead viewers are going to be pretty pissed off because there has been zero metal in this episode. But here you go. Ed OG and the Bulldogs with Life of a Kid in the Ghetto from 1991. This is a lesser known but really good hip hop album from the early 90s. There were only two Ed OG and the Bulldog albums, if I remember right. And then I think maybe he started going under just Ed OG. I'm not 100% sure. I know mostly about this album because it's the one that I've heard the most, but it's fucking killer. Paper inner sleeve. I don't know if there was an inner sleeve originally in this or not, but chances are probably not. There you go. PWL America. Looks like a subsidiary of Mercury Records, so this was a major label release. But this is one of those where it's called Life of a Kid in the Ghetto, but it's more what they would call conscious rap. I think they termed that for a little while, but this is a really good early 90s hip hop album. If you're into that, then if you haven't heard this album, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Go check it out. Ed OG and the Bulldogs, Life of a Kid in the Ghetto. Okay, fuck it. We'll do one more. Random item. Dead Cross, the first Dead Cross album, the side project with Mike Patton, Dave Lombardo, other dudes. It's a fucking killer album, and this was from 2017 when this one came out. This is a 2017 pressing, and it's a gatefold, but also, here you go. Also, if I remember right, this is glow in the dark. So, I don't know. Let's test that out. Is it working? But believe me, this stuff glows in the dark, and the stuff on the back, you can feel it. It's all great. It glows in the dark, okay? And the vinyl is pretty cool too, if I remember right. Oh, this one is just red. It's got a little bit of a splatter kind of thing going on, black in there, but very, very nice looking red there. But if you haven't heard this album, it's great. It's got Mike Patton on vocals. It's kind of a punky, hardcore-y kind of thing, and it's great. I like this album a lot more than the second one. Second one's great too, but this one, for some reason, I love the urgency of it, and I love all the songs on it, and it's fucking killer. So we got some metal-ish type stuff in this episode, so there you go, everybody. Dead Cross from Dead Cross. All right, everybody, that is it for this episode of Record Roulette. Thank you very much for joining me. Like I said, I'll try to do another one of these sooner than later. I got other shit I got to do. So that's what you'll see next. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all again very soon.